Every December, we do a deacon election where we invite people who have agreed to submit their names. We present those to you all, and we vote on whether we want them to be the servant leaders who are moving forward, helping our church for a 3-year term. One of my favorite parts of this is that in order to be considered to be a deacon, you have to stand up here and give your testimony, because it is an amazing way for us to be able to hear and know how God has moved and worked in your life, and to understand how you see how that would fit into what you would do as a deacon. So I am very excited to be able to invite up Corey McMonigle today to share his deacon testimony.
Good morning. Many of you here know me quite well. For those of you who don't, like Patrick said, my name's Corey McMonigle, and I had started attending this church when I was a baby. I would not say that I have lived an interesting life to be able to give a great testimony, but I would describe it as comfortable, maybe a bit boring, and sometimes tragic. And I believe all of these aspects of my life have prepared me to become a deacon. So to touch on the comfortable side, like I said, I have been attending this church since I was a baby. I grew up in a Christian home with plenty of love and support, and with that came discipline. My parents both were examples of how to live your life as a Christian. Their impact and legacy live on in several communities today. I can't really remember when I first heard about God. I'm sure it was in Sunday school or preschool here. And it's hard for me to remember a time where I didn't believe or understand that Jesus died for my sins. It is my desire to also raise my children and my family in the church and in faith as I was. So for the boring part, like Patrick said, and I preached a few weeks ago, maybe 3 because we've been sick several Sundays now. I don't have a Jesus saved me while I was in jail or rehab kind of story. I believe the biggest faith moments in my life have been on mission trips, serving in the community, whether it's Habitat for Humanity or with the youth as I was growing up, and or realizing in my late teens that I can't be saved by my parents' actions, but that I had to live out my faith in my own life. So, no attention-grabbing story there. As for the tragic side, that's a good time to start getting choked up before I start this part. Most of you understand and know this part of my life as well. My notes aren't helping me now. My wife, Angela, and I have experienced heartbreak twice as we lost 2 babies. We've had our fair share of loss in those ways, so we thought. But 3 years ago, we lost both of my parents within 5 weeks of each other. Both unexpectedly. So, although I'll never understand or know why these things have happened to us, I know that experiences have made me the person I am today. I know those experiences have made me a person that people feel comfortable approaching in times of loss and grief, which is kind of funny. You can talk to my friends and family, especially my wife, and they will tell you that I am not the first person they would have thought of as a shoulder to cry on. or someone to listen or go to for support. And trust me, I laugh at this too. And this is one of the reasons why I've played this game with God for a while now, that I'm not ready to take on the responsibility as a deacon. Bottom line is, I'm not the person who's going to tell you that hardship and grief is something that God wanted in your life. I'm not the person who will say, God will never give you more than you can handle. I'm the type of person who is going to say, life sucks sometimes. And I'm sure that choice of wording will not sit well with some people today. But it's more appropriate than some other words that have come to mind over the past 3 years. With the right support system, you can get through all seasons of life. And let me be clear, I did not make it through those hard times under my own power. It was my family and my church family that kept me going many times. I have wrestled with my faith and with God a lot over these struggles. I believe those times that I spent yelling at God while in my car have brought me closer to Him. Yes, I believe I am a stronger person in the end, but there were many times I didn't know if I wanted to make it through those struggles. So, anyway, that's a little bit about me. Now for why I think I am called to be a deacon, even though I still don't think I should be one. I've been asked enough times, and since Anthony Fritchie decided to take over as treasurer, I've run out of excuses. But seriously, I realize that being a deacon is a critical role in the church. I have read many things about being a deacon, and what sticks out to me is that a deacon is a helper and a servant. I feel as though my parents and God have been preparing me for some time, as those words, helper and servant, don't scare me. I feel as though I already try to help where I can. I feel a pull that can only be God to act when it would be just easier to focus on my own little world. So if you all see fit to give me the title of a deacon, then I will simply do my best to continue to follow God's direction and example I had from my parents to continue to serve the community the best I can. Thank you.